It's the Green Rush Nation podcast. I just had the bluest dream that you've ever seen, and I can't believe that shit was green, cause it hit so clean, and my history is a mystery. I don't give a fuck, I just hit the tree on the 5th degree. We don't pit for free. If you don't got 5 shit, get up and leave. It's the Green Rush Nation podcast. What's going on, guys? We're back with another episode of the Green Rush Nation podcast, the highest podcast in the world. Today we have some very special guests, people that you should definitely listen to if you're ever getting pulled over or you have any questions. It's our friends, Craig and Mark from Pot Brothers at Law.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having us.
Of course, we appreciate you guys coming on. So here on the Green Rush Nation podcast, we don't want to just know about your great ventures in business and law. We want to know about you personally a little bit. So do you remember your first encounter with marijuana, the first time you smoked it, and what did you smoke out of? We'll let you go
He's
first.
older, so.
Okay.
I'll go first. It was with a friend of ours. Remember Matt?
Matt Moulton.
Matt Moulton.
Am I right?
Yeah,
Yep.
down the street. We found, it must have been 13, 14, and we found it, the stash in his parents' closet.
Okay.
And I think we emptied out a cigarette and put it in the cigarette.
Pretty
And
easy
jumped
way.
over the wall of my backyard, which was a ditch in the back over the fence, and we that was the very first encounter. And then I didn't really smoke again until probably 16. That's when I started full blown.
Okay. Okay.
Until
so you
now,
dabbled
straight
in.
through.
Okay. Interesting. So you never stopped since 16.
Correct.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And I'm be 64 in 2 months.
And did you get high the first time?
Yes.
You were super high?
Yes.
Okay, good, good. And what about you?
Well, he's got 7 years on me, so that factors in because when I think I was 15,
Okay.
which would have made you 21, 22, I went into his room. I had always seen this wooden box that he hid somewhere or whatever, and I, didn't hide it very well. I went into it, and I found a little plastic. I didn't know what it was. It was a bong.
Okay.
And some green whatever. And I didn't exactly know what it was. And then my mom and dad came in, saw I was just caught.
Red-handed.
And they said, "You know what that is?" And I go, "It's a pot." And he goes, "Yeah, you want to try?" And then he came in, and they made me take a hit of the bong.
Okay.
And I did not like it.
Okay. Yeah, I would imagine.
It wasn't a good
Like
experience.
making him smoke a pack.
Literally.
It wasn't a good experience
For sure.
for me. And so that was the first time. The next time I would actually do it was in college at UC Irvine. I was 21,
Okay.
and off and on for a few years I would a little bit. And then when I got to law school, that's when it was like every day, every
Interesting.
hour, as much as I could get my hands on. And ever since then. So that's
And were you a special person in law school, or was everyone smoking weed?
everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody, pretty much everybody.
In my day, 10 years earlier, it wasn't so much like that.
Okay.
I mean, I had a group that we were super tight and we smoked, but it was also a school that a lot of older people went to as second careers.
Okay.
So it was a lot of older people, whether they did or they didn't. It wasn't as open as it is now.
Gotcha. So it was more accepted when you were in school.
Yeah, and that was inside. Like I graduated in 94, and the people that I went to school with, like a lot of them out of that where we went to school are judges in
Really?
Orange County, in
Wow.
the Orange County area. So everybody was doing it.
Of course. Of course. I mean, this is California. I expect nothing less. But just you think a lawyer, you definitely don't think they're probably smoking weed. I would think, oh, this guy's home. He's on it, But as I got older, I realized that weed doesn't take you off of it. You
Correct.
could still be on it.
That's right.
100%. 100%. That's the beauty of weed is most people that I know, if it fucks you up, you don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to do that now because I know that I can't. I can't do that while I do this activity. I can't. It messes me up at work. I can't do it.
Yeah.
So it's unlike, crack or whatever those things, heroin where you're addicted.
Absolutely.
No matter what you want, you can't say no.
For sure.
You can say no to fucking smoking weed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Those commercials were lies back in the day.
They were.
So
You both went to law school. When you were in law school, did you think it was going to be for marijuana, or was it just in general? Okay.
Not at all.
For me, it was coming in California. So by the time I became an attorney in 1996, that's when Prop 215 was enacted.
Okay.
So I went right into criminal defense and representing cannabis patients who were still getting arrested.
Gotcha.
But it wasn't like we're going into cannabis.
Okay.
It
Right.
sprung from his criminal
Gotcha.
defense practice.
So there was a need for it. You saw it, and you just ran.
Yeah,
with
I
it.
just ran with that. I knew I was always going to do criminal defense.
Okay.
And then, like I said, as I came out, that was happening, and arrests were still being made. People were like, well, I have my recommendation.
Yeah.
What's going on? You know, and there's specific rules surrounding all of that. So I never looked back from that, and then just been handling all sorts of criminal defense over the years. But as cannabis started doing its thing, that's when we always had our separate practices. He became an attorney in 86.
Okay.
I was in 96. He did business, personal injury, work comp,
Okay.
business litigation, mergers, like all that kind of stuff. And I just did, I was doing criminal defense and family law until I couldn't take family law anymore.
Okay.
And this is just straight criminal defense. And then when everything changed and they went with the cooperatives and everything else, that's when we kind of hooked up. But it wasn't until his kid.
Yeah, my kid sparked the whole really into the cannabis space specifically.
Okay. Was there like an
Because of
event?
him. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
two of them.
Okay.
2 events. The first event was he lived in a manufactured home. He had a room that he had 25 plants.
Okay.
And we had done all our research. He had patient recommendations. He had his cooperative set up. He had everything right under the law. And I can tell you about the whole bust, but he ended up getting busted for the grow.
Okay.
And long story about the bust, I guess we should just tell.
Here. Let me. He's in his home.
This is what sparked us to actually get into this.
Okay.
And it's like 6 a.m. or so, and someone knocks on his door. He opens it.
Well, he had a TV being delivered.
Oh, right. Okay, right. He was expecting.
I don't know if it was coincidence or not, but
He was expecting the TV. Opens the door. There's a shotgun in his face.
Jesus.
And 3 guys. And he's trying to push the door closed. He's screaming, "Help! Help! Help!" He gets the door closed. They run off. Neighbor had called the cops.
Because he
My
saw the
manager-
commotion.
manager of the place.
heard the yelling, and the manager saw the 3 people run off.
Okay.
So the cops come, maybe 2 or 3 cars. They come, they see him. He comes outside. He puts his keys in his pocket, locks the door, and is outside. And they clocked him as some kind of suspect.
Okay.
And just started asking him.
He's wearing it was early, wearing his shorts and a wife beater.
Yeah.
And,
I don't know, athletic tee.
Okay.
Can't say that anymore.
Yeah.
and instead of asking about the suspects, why would they want to come in there? What's in there?
Of course.
What's in there? And he's telling them, hey, they ran off there. And they're like, no.
So these suspects were not cops.
No.
They were cops.
No. The suspects who tried getting into his place
Ran off.
were assailants.
Okay. So they were trying to rob.
They were trying to rob him.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. How they knew what was in there, who knows? He deep in the community by that point.
Of course.
So they run off. Manager calls the cops. Cops come up, sees what he looks like a little punk, sits him down on the curb. He puts his keys next to him, and for like 45 minutes, they're trying to get him to go inside. And he's like, no, I'm not giving you consent.
Yeah.
And we hear cops on the audio going, come on, call Sergeant X over here. He'll know how to get in.
Yeah.
And so finally, 45 minutes later, they go to the audio and the video. You see all this. And they point down to his keys and goes, are those your keys? He says, yes. He says, then my son tells us, he says, can I go search? He says, no, I don't give consent. Cop picks up the keys, goes in the house, opens the door, and 25 plants. It was like $1 billion bust.
Hilarious.
And so they bust him for, that's felonies, 4 felonies back then.
Yeah.
And he said, I didn't give them consent. So when we get the audio and video of it, the audio literally, when the cop says, are those your keys? And he says, yes. For 30 seconds, the audio goes, and when in the time that he said,
I don't consent.
I don't consent.
Yeah.
And they said he did consent.
And the way they really fucked up too is they ended up using what's called exigency of the circumstances.
Okay.
Meaning, if someone's running by your place and there's someone they're chasing and they go through your house, they can run in because it's an emergency.
I see what
Don't
you're saying.
need a warrant.
Yeah.
And if whatever they see, they see.
So,
Fair game.
but in this case, they tried using that 45 minutes later to do a welfare check. We're like, well, why didn't you bust in to make sure no one else was in the house? Why didn't you bust in the minute you got there if you were worried?
Absolutely.
So it was a big pretext. We went to court. This one here, the cop didn't even testify. We showed him the audio and video.
Well, that's when that the DA we were saying, have you watched this? And the DA was like, no, let me see it.
Because they brought in a special DA to do this motion that we
Okay.
had brought to dismiss based on unreasonable
Because the DA said, I have the cop here. He's going to testify. Okay, good. Here, you watch this.
Yeah.
And they come back with a half hour later. Cop's not gonna,
we showed her, she showed the cop.
Cop's not going to testify now.
Interesting.
My son got up on the stand, said I didn't consent to da-da-da-da-da, and
Boom. Case dismissed.
case dismissed. Well, all the evidence was thrown out.
Yeah.
So
That's
case dismissed.
Gotcha.
Because
That
of
was the
illegal
first
search.
one.
But wait, the greatest part of that one was we filed our motion for the return of
That
the
was
evidence.
that was the second one. We got the stuff back on the first one, but not the weed.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
So what
got all
exactly
his
did you
grow-
get
we
back?
got all his
the
grow
grow
equipment.
equipment. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Fucking
That's right.
ruined anyways.
Yeah.
The second one, he was doing a delivery. He had a delivery service, all set up properly, right? Doing everything right. He had a rental car. Bluetooth didn't attach to his phone, so he was on his phone.
Gotcha.
That's what got him pulled over, being on the phone.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
Then the cop, what's that smell? And while we tell everybody, you don't engage in conversation, and he knows this the most too.
Of course.
And he probably knows a little too much because I'm his uncle and this is his dad. And he said, well, no, smell isn't probable cause in California anymore right now because this is all legal. It's medical. I have, everything.
Yeah.
And so he says that. And then
No, I don't think he said that. He just said smells not probable cause.
right.
He didn't say anything else. He didn't
No,
say
it's
it's
that's
still
when he gave her
medical or legal. He didn't say
Oh, you're
anything.
right.
He didn't
That's
say
when
that.
that's when he gave her the card. He gave her this card, and it has our script on it and big words. Do not consent. Gives that card to her.
But the best part of that card, go on.
So
That's not the big part.
She takes the card, and then she gets him out of the car. While she's asking him, I want to search. No, I don't consent. I do not consent. And she walks him around the car, sits him on the curb, and then within like 2 or 3 seconds, she comes back, puts her gloves on, and starts searching. In the police report, it says when he sat down, he gave consent.
Yeah.
And that's where we knew this is. And when we listened to the audio, again,
Different department.
right? Yeah, total 2 different police departments.
Crazy.
While he's off camera, when she says it, while we can hear everything else before and after, right when he says, they
I do not
claim
consent.
he gave consent.
Another 4 felonies: possession, intent to sell, transportation.
Jesus.
All felonies back then. So the best part is, so we fight it. Like, fuck you, we're going to fight this. He said, we actually hired an attorney at first because we didn't want to, like a doctor. And we told these guys, and they were brothers, and we told them,
Well, that's
he will go to jail. He knows enough people. He will go to fucking jail before he pleads to anything.
Yeah.
We're going to fight it. We're going to fight it, blah, blah, blah. First hearing they go to, this is a whole nother part of the story that people need to understand, that when you go get a lawyer, so many of these criminal defense lawyers will do what's called bleed you and plead you.
Okay.
Take your money. First appearance, what kind of deal can I get? Because most criminal defense attorneys, flat fee until you get to the next stage of the case.
Yeah.
So, and there's a bunch of stuff you can do between arraignment and then the next stage. And that's first chunk you got to pay an attorney.
Okay.
So the less they have to go, the more they make. So we told these guys, no deals. So the first hearing, my brother ends up going wearing his civilian clothes, and he's sitting there.
I didn't go to the initial meeting that him and my
So they
nephew
didn't know
went to.
him.
Okay.
So they're inside. My brother goes in. Guy's talking to the DA, the attorney, takes Jared outside in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Or no. The attorney and the DA come out. Mark's sitting right next to him. They don't know who he is. And the DA saying, well, how about 90-day ankle, da-da-da. Here, you tell them that part.
They start negotiating, and the DA offers this jail time deal. He'll 1 felony instead of 4, dismiss the 4, plead to 1 felony, 90 days jail, and da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And this guy goes, yeah, I could get my client to take that. My client will take that. And then they go back in. And then I just was waiting. I was just listening. And I'm in the hall. The courtroom doors are closed.
Okay.
Yeah, there's the outer doors and the inner doors. And you usually can't hear much of what's going on in there. But I was just waiting. And then sure enough, a few minutes later, I fucking told you no deal. My nephew just screaming in the middle of the courtroom at his attorney. Yeah. And that was it. They left.
They got another date, whatever. We went, we fired them. And
we showed up to the office together. I went with them this next time to go say, hey, I didn't even say anything. I walked in and the guy's face just turned white as a ghost.
And it was a scenario where there were brothers, right? Both attorneys. And we said, we want you. I've been doing this long enough. I don't want someone from your firm. I don't want your brother who looked, I hate to say this, but like doofus. I mean, does that describe, you know what that means?
I know exactly what you're saying.
Okay. And we're like, we don't want him. We want you. And sure enough, they send the brother the first time.
Great.
And so we fire him and we decide, fuck it. It's just litigating something new. We'll go learn it.
Yeah.
You know, we'll learn the case law and blah, 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 blah. So we took over the case. We filed the motion to dismiss based on reasonable search and seizure, based on no consent, because she put consent in there. Yeah. And we ran a motion. We get to the motion, and we show the DA all the shit, and she's like, yeah, I don't think we're going to have a trial.
No. First, they told us they were going to, remember?
Oh, yeah.
In the morning.
Right,
in the morning.
Right.
And then we broke for lunch, and then we're coming back going, man, this is going to be great. We're gonna.
That's right.
We're just gonna be able to walk out of here. But we didn't tell my nephew yet because it wasn't a done deal. So we broke for lunch. We come back thinking, they're not gonna go. We're gonna get it dismissed. And then the DA comes up and they brought some young whatever who was probably just starting, going, yeah, we're gonna go.
They literally said like this guy's got to make his bones or something stupid shit.
Okay.
And we're like, you really? Like, you just told us.
Did you watch it? Did you?
Okay. So we put on the motion. Jarrett gets up there and testifies. I did not give consent. And he literally said, my brother was doing the examination. And he said, he goes, my brother asked, did you consent? He goes, no, I did not consent. And he goes, my dad's a lawyer. My uncle's a lawyer. I would be disowned from the family if I gave consent. Yeah. That's what he told the court. Yeah. So he said, didn't consent. So we get the cop on the stand. And I'll give my brother a huge credit. It was a great cross-examination because we're watching the video, and you see my son hand him the card. Hand her.
Her.
Yeah, it was her. And you see her hand the card. She looks at it. You see it on the video, and then hands it back, and then everything else takes place. So he hands the card to her. We're watching the video. Is this the card? I mean, she was stupid. She should have just said, I don't remember. Yeah, that's the card.
And then
okay.
I made her.
I do not consent on it.
Take the card. Could you read the bottom here where it says in red? She reads it to the court. I do not consent to a search. To any police. Here, I can't. My eyes. These aren't the good right glasses.
Uh-huh. It has the script on it, but to any police officer or law enforcement personnel, I am invoking my Fifth Amendment Miranda rights and will only speak to you with an attorney present. Please allow me to contact my attorney. And in big red letters, I do not consent to a search. Yeah. And he had already said it once. We already heard it once on the audio and the video when she was at the window. He said, I don't consent. This card, I don't consent. Then she does her little walk around, and you show by the report and the time of everything.
We played that for the court.
I said that now we can't hear him say it. I consent. What happened to what happened? She goes, oh, well, that happens sometimes. Yeah. And then I said, I have to know something. Because this is my nephew, and he already testified that he would be disowned from the family if he consented. And so he told you he didn't consent. He gave you a card that says I don't consent. Then just 2 minutes later, you say he consented and you start searching. You're like a genius. What did you say to flip my client, my nephew like that? Yeah. And she said, you're confusing me. And then I said, and I always say this, I never should have said it and I hadn't done it since. Isn't that because you're a liar? You're not supposed to call the witness a liar. The judge will figure it out, and the jury will figure it out.
There was no jury. It was a court motion.
But the judge did glare at me. Like, like I have nothing further. Yeah. And then the judge ultimately said, I find no consent was given.
There you go.
And then that was the one where we filed our motion and we got everything back.
We have a video on our page. It's probably at the bottom.
I don't know.
Was it still on there?
I don't know. I think we might have had to take it down because it wasn't compliant.
It was no,
No,
consent.
that's a whole
other-
There was no consent.
No, so we walked in the Newport Beach Police Department with the court order. We got a box. I got him and my son walking down the steps. We get to the trunk, open it up, open the box, and there's wax, weed, edibles, money, phone.
That must have been the craziest feeling / sight
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah.
It was walking into the I've never been in there. So walking into an evidence room and getting that box and walking out was, those were two of the best days of my life because my son, if you've ever been through a felony case, it will wreck you.
Oh, man. I can imagine.
I mean, we was looking at time.
Yeah.
And so anyways, so those two things together put us on the cannabis path.
Okay.
Path.
So then you knew, okay, this is a good route we can go.
And my son, and then so that leapfrogs us into how do we get on IG, which is after that second case, my son knows Be Real. I don't know if you know Adam Ill.
Of course.
And he says, Dad, he calls up him first.
Well, no. After that case was over, he told us we need to get on social media, Instagram.
Okay.
And we were like, man, we're old, man. We have Facebook. We don't, and it was a
Over
couple
Facebook.
years. He was pressuring us for probably a good 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
Then now we fast forward to January 22nd, 2015. He comes in, barging into the office, go, hey, I have some friends who have a podcast they're doing, and they want to interview attorneys.
It was for Prop 64.
Okay.
That was coming in 2016, who will talk about what's coming, but also smoke with them. And they can't find any attorneys. I told them my dad and uncle would do it.
Okay.
And I said, oh, okay, let's go. And he was like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What's the bargain? He was nervous and worried about smoking and stuff. And we talked about it really quick. We had our physician recommendation. We're going to a private studio where they wanted to allow it. Fine. We're not doing anything wrong.
Absolutely.
And so we said, all right, let us know when sometime next week. He goes, no, right now we got to go up to LA.
Oh, shit.
It's on Be Real TV.
Okay.
And so at that, I was like, Be Real's on TV now? What channel? I haven't seen. I mean, I know, right?
Yeah.
From the 80s. That's my stuff. Like,
Yep.
he goes, no, it's on the internet and all this and that. So we bump up to Hollywood to Be Real TV studios, and it was called Getting High with Adam Ill.
There you go. Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
And we sat down with this kid, January 22nd, 2015, and he just was a stoner who wanted to know, what do I do if I get pulled over? What this, that, and I think probably went well over 2 hours with people calling in.
Wow.
And we sat, we smoked, we toked, we bonged, we dabbed, just all of it. And one of our big things was breaking the stigma.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're attorneys.
Yeah, actually, we started off probably more evenly breaking the stigma and teaching people their rights.
Okay.
Because we didn't know what we'd do with the page once we got it. So at the end of at the end of that of the shooting of that show, they're like, you got to get on
Instagram.
IG. So
Yeah.
they let me do it, and that's why if you see POT_ @ brothers _ blah 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 _ that's
You don't
because
even know it.
That's
Pot
because,
_
that's
brothers
because I'm
_
putting a
@
space in, not knowing it puts an underscore.
There you go. Okay.
I could have had just Pot Brothers at Law, but it's got underscores in every word.
And so when we come on shows like this, what's your IG? Pot _ brothers _ @ _law.
Don't worry, we're gonna pull it up on the screen. So
And then we figured out. And then what are we gonna do? My son's like, Dad, like you guys, because we've been in the industry, we've been from the dirt up. Right. And we know the whole industry back, forth, good, bad. And he's like, people, all these lawyers just don't give a fuck. They just want to charge you for any kind of advice.
Yeah.
He goes, why don't you do IG? Give some advice.
Yeah.
Give free advice. You give
Absolutely.
free advice anyways. His friends call me. It's like, okay, and we give free advice.
Yeah.
So, but it was only 15-second videos back then. And when we first looked at it, tits and weed.
That's it.
That was IG
Yeah.
back then. And what are we going to do? And we just decided, you know what? We're in California. Cannabis patients get fucked with the most when they're driving around.
Yep.
And while we've always told people, you shut the fuck up, invoke your fifth. That's
So when did that come? Was that before or after IG?
Well,
Shut the fuck up.
since I've been an attorney in 1996, on the back of my card, absent the script was the rest. I do not consent, and I invoke my Miranda right, which a law professor of mine had it on the back of his card.
Okay.
And so I just put that on the back of my very first card in 1996, and that's what I always tell people: you shut the fuck up and invoke the fifth, and you know, and that's it. And so we were coming up with ways to teach people this is what you do when you get pulled over. And
it took a while to curate. I mean, because we started with a lot more words, and then we kept coming up with different variations.
Well, people would make comments,
Yeah.
and ask like, "What if this? What if that?" And so we had to come up with those what are now 29 words.
Yeah.
Concise, rolled up in your 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendment, takes into consideration case law that's out there and all of that
Yeah,
stuff.
every one of those lines.
Okay.
And so we did a series, right? Because we only had 15 seconds, we did a series of those. And within 2 or 3 weeks, we had 5,000 followers.
Wow.
And the only way I knew how to gauge that was Facebook took me 8 years to get 5,000 friends.
Yeah.
And so it's like, all right, we got to do something here. And then we just started doing more videos, more information, more tips.
And the best part was, which kind of sucked going now, if you notice, we're not smoking on social media.
For sure.
So we had to make a choice 5 years in.
Oh, much longer.
Was it longer than that?
7
Because
years.
initially it was, I'm wearing, actually.
Well, here,
actually here.
the OG hat.
I wore this.
Where?
I wore this T-shirt, and I smoked a
Sunglasses,
joint
yeah.
with my sunglasses, kind of like Jay and Silent Bob.
And
he did the tip.
Okay.
And I just sat there, and I smoked in the background.
But then every once in a while, my big brother would have something to say, so you better fucking listen.
Yeah.
You know, and that
I did see those videos. You're like, yep. So and now, what do you do? Yeah.
And it turned into that.
Okay.
But half of that was breaking the stigma. Like, I don't care if you see me smoke. If you don't want to hire me, fuck you.
Absolutely. Absolutely true.
Because most of the lawyers that you're going to hire don't like
weed.
you.
Yeah.
No, don't like you.
Yeah.
Don't like weed, but they're going to take your money.
Absolutely.
But do what you want to do. You know, I'm not here to dress up and do that. And, you know, so it started more off as breaking the stigma of just smoking and being an attorney smoking. And then that's how that was for years. And then we got a social media guru who knows the algorithms and blah, 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 and compliant.
Well, but
blah, blah,
before that, we
did shoot up to 500,000 before him.
Well, we organically grew from the whole thing has been organic, but from 2015 to December 25th, 2018, we had about 140,000 followers.
Okay.
And December 25th, one of my notifications was going off on Facebook. While Instagram was where we were really doing everything, I put us on we had a presence on all platforms.
Yeah.
Just, you never know where
As
one
you
client
should.
might come from.
Absolutely.
So my notifications go ding, 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 ding. Like I've never heard it. I thought my phone was broken.
Yeah.
And I ultimately was able to track it back to one of our videos where we talk about a unlicensed dispensary getting raided. 3 people work there. 2 of them, oh, I'm just a volunteer. And one of them who
shut the fuck
followed
up.
us, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And we got that case dismissed.
Beautiful.
And so that got reposted on this Facebook page, Respect My Region.
Okay.
And they were a
Joey.
small, Joey
Good guy,
Barbo.
good kid.
Small little like hip hop political page out of, at that time they were out of Washington.
Okay.
And he put it on his thing. And then Roger Stone.
You ever heard of him?
I have not.
Roger Stone reposted it.
Okay.
Tell him who Roger Stone is.
Just Google him. He is the he was the Trump drain the swamp slogan master.
Okay.
He's the guy in the background. He got convicted of all kinds of shit. Trump
He was under a
pardoned him.
gag order.
Yeah, he
when
was
that
actually.
post.
Yeah, that's right. He was under a gag order for a criminal case he was under, and said these should be my lawyers.
There you go.
And then that thing just went freaking.
Everybody picked it up.
insane.
Snoop, this, that.
Yeah.
Everybody under the sun was just reposting it everywhere. And ultimately, over the years, that one video, I stopped counting at 400 million views across just everywhere. And so
That shot us up to almost 500,000.
Yeah.
yeah, well, and the other thing that happened was within about 3 or 4 days of that, Ridiculousness MTV called us.
There you go.
Wanted to use our video. Tosh.0 called us,
Wow.
wanted to interview us. Michael Rappaport called us, wanted to
There you
interview
go.
us.
Wow.
We immediately went to Rappaport's house and did his podcast, which was awesome. And the Tosh and ridiculousness, we were worried. All they do is make fun of people on fucking videos.
Of course.
And so I had a conversation with the producers that, you know, what we're doing can look funny and this and that and is entertaining, but it's serious and we're not going to put ourselves in a position to get
told
made fun
ridiculousness that we said, look,
not going to do it.
Yeah.
You can pay us whatever you want. We're not
They
gonna,
asked for our permission. We're like, no, unless you want to show it to us before you put it up.
Yeah.
To both of them, we said that.
And
Okay.
they
both
did.
said-
We just did. They go, okay, you got like a short window. This is what we're going to do. And it was
No,
with
that's not how it happened. They said, no, we can't show you. We don't ever show anybody anything. And we said, but we promise we're not going to make fun of you.
Yeah.
And I said, well, forget it. We're
good.
We're not looking to do that. So, and then about a week later,
That's
they
right.
both called up. All right, we ran it by you. You cannot tell anybody
Yeah.
what this is. And we saw what they wanted to do on both of them. Like, let's do it.
Good shit.
They
Yeah.
used the video. Our video
Well,
on
Tosh was a little
Ridiculous-
different than the ridiculous.
that was a whole
'Cause we
interview.
went in and did a show.
That was a whole interview.
did
and
a
show,
30-minute show
a
with
skit.
us.
Wow.
Yeah, that and the other one, they just used that video. The one I described is the one they used.
Okay.
And Penn Gillette was the guest
There you go.
on it, and him and the other, they're all saying "shut the fuck up" by the end of that little clip. And then the Tosh one, we went on, did a whole interview, and you know it was
Did a little stupid skit with them.
it was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
It
You know
was
what's funny? I was actually going to bring that up because that was one video I did see and I wanted to ask about.
Which one?
The one kid who shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
That what's interesting also about that video went viral on like some kind of private server website in Taiwan.
Wow.
And we were at some convention, maybe MJ BizCon, a little while after that, and an attorney from Taiwan had come in. She has a podcast. She came in specifically to find us and interview us for all these Taiwanese people who we have like a following.
Wow.
In Taiwan, we found out. So
That's
it was,
really cool.
You know, and there's some other countries where, you know, you remove I invoke the fifth and the constitutional stuff works just the same.
Absolutely. And now, question about the other countries, because obviously now that's kind of a thing. We had a guest on our podcast last week who said that they're doing something with Canada so that they can now ship internationally. But they said that their lawyer told them to be careful because somebody just got stopped from coming back into the U.S. because they were doing exactly that. And now they're considered like an international drug smuggler.
Going back and forth between Canada, tough.
Yeah.
If you're
Don't do it.
if you're in the cannabis space,
Yeah.
we pretty much stay out of the international aspect.
Okay.
There's people who literally specialize in the international stuff, but I do know that a lot of other nations are allowing export between Germany and Australia or wherever. There's all kinds of different agreements going on in the UK and all across the world, except here.
Exactly. Speaking of that, how does like the federal speculation of rescheduling affect you guys?
Hold on. Let's see. Let me get out the crystal ball.
I love it.
It's so ass backwards with the federal government. I mean,
Never happening.
it's. I mean, the only thing that's holding us over is what was called initially the Rohrabacher-Farr Act, which said that it was attached to every spending bill for the last 20 years. And it said that the DOJ cannot spend funds to prosecute a case in a state where they're following the state rules.
Yeah.
And they're actually trying to get that out,
Okay.
which is not good.
Yeah.
It's not. It could open up the floodgates.
Oh man.
I think they're getting to keep that in there, but just it's the federal representatives and senators just don't listen.
Yeah.
They're all too old, and they can't wrap their head around that. This is better than alcohol.
Yeah. 100%.
100 times better than
A lot
alcohol.
less risk.
And they don't
Much
do
less.
what their constituents want.
Yeah.
And the proof is right there. And we got 40 some odd states that are allowing it, 42 states in some form or another.
Yeah.
And it's not federal yet.
Of course.
You know, there's
It makes no sense.
It doesn't make
It's
any
like
sense.
arguing up to the wall.
Literally.
that's why I say it's never going to happen. I don't, not in my lifetime.
I hate to
don't
hear
see
that,
it.
but
I do
man.
too. I hate
He's
saying
been
it.
saying that forever. I still hold out hope that it's eventually, if we can get the younger generation to mobilize, and even if it be a one-issue person,
Yeah.
people say that you're just a one issue. I don't care.
That's it. This is
You know
this is an
what?
important issue.
This is an issue that so if this guy says he's going to do it, then I'm going to, hopefully they go through with what they do.
Yes.
With what they say.
Yeah.
You know, these politicians, they need to limit politicians to one term. One term. Maybe even not get paid.
Unless you make your
Because they're
promises.
getting so much graft and so much kickback and so much bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you do this for me, I do that for you. No, we can't do that yet. People going with good intentions.
Yeah.
My dad wanted me to be a senator. And I said, I can't. I'm not going to go play.
Yeah.
I'll get nowhere because I'll say, fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You do this
Who
for
knows?
me because it's
It's
the
a
right.
new day.
You do this for me, it's the right thing. I'm not doing that for you just because you do this for me. Sorry.
Maybe you need to finally do it.
No, I got greener pastures ahead. I'll just bitch about it and hopefully help people learn that they need to get out there and get it, you know, and vote.
For sure.
I've been beat down to the ground about it because I always had hoped and thought, you know, it is because in 1996 when I started practicing, California did it, and everybody was saying, oh, within 5 years, federal.
Yeah.
What happens? 12 years later, Colorado goes adult use first.
Yeah.
Before California.
That's crazy.
12 years after that. And then, another 5 years, federal. Then California goes. And then in 2016, 5 years, we're going to, you know, and
10 years later.
I'm not counting anymore.
Of course.
It just ain't going to happen. It's just ain't going to happen. What are they going to,
You got to get rid of the old guys up there who just don't get it.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, it's really.
well, here's the problem is they deschedule it.
That's worse.
It's gone. Now they got to release all these people from jails everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, you don't really hear people talking about that, but that's a reality.
And that's actually an interesting perspective because I've never heard that side of the conversation.
When they
In theory.
when they take law like here, when they changed the laws, people were let out of jail. That we could go back and take felonies and make them misdemeanors, infractions, and so that's what would happen. You know, people are going to be left with having to release everybody that's in there.
To me, I mean, that's not a bad theory.
Yeah.
But in my head, it's more of the reason it's so messed up, the whole system. Even in California, I do all the regulations, compliance, all that stuff. And it is so messed up, the regulations, overburdened, overregulated, overtaxed. And it's the way that most, even Democrats, both sides are guilty.
Yeah.
We've had control of the presidency, of the House and the Senate. And what did they do? Nothing.
Yeah.
Clinton could have done it. Obama could have done it.
Yeah.
Like, come on, why didn't, stroke of a pen, they could have done it.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do it?
It's true.
So it's not just one side.
Yeah.
It's the whole spectrum of people. And the reason they approved anything in California is because of the mighty dollar.
Yeah.
And that's what's sinking the legal industry, is because they looked at it as a cash grab by the state.
Yep.
And it's not working out so well.
That's for damn sure. We see where that got us here in 2025. So,
Yep.
What has been one of your most memorable cases since the beginning of this?
Well, I mean, obviously the ones we talked about with my nephew,
Of course.
his son, those are always going to be right up there.
Absolutely.
But we've had quite a bit. I mean, one that really comes to mind is the mobile meth lab.
Okay.
And we were talking earlier about how you have concentrate and people think it's heroin, or
Yeah.
like you were saying in New York, you
Yeah.
have a vape. You might be smoking. We don't know what it is. We have
Exactly.
to test it.
Yeah.
And so there was this. I don't know how many years ago this was, but it was guys who were running. They had the license. They were legally operating, but they weren't in compliance with how they were transporting the distillate, which was in barrels
Okay.
in the back of a U-Haul truck, and it started leaking.
Oh, shit.
And so it was on the 91 freeway over here.
Oh, man.
And it's leaking. And then, on the news, you see it live on the news. Mobile meth lab, and they're chasing, the lights are going, cops are coming,
Oh,
and all
Jesus.
that stuff. And then 2 days later, we get the call. So some guys who, following us in the whole 9 yards. And they come in and we're like, it wasn't meth, right? And
Yeah.
it was distillate. And we would, So, and they were in jail on $1 million bail for three days until I was able to get them out.
Holy shit.
Going in there, this is not meth.
Yeah.
This
Test
is
it.
what it is.
Not even
It's
really
cannabis.
weed. It's distillate.
It's this. And so ultimately, there was all these felonies and all this and that. And
Hazmat, blah, blah,
Oh yeah, they
blah.
had hazmat. Yeah, it was the whole
Crazy.
thing. And ultimately, we were able to cut a deal for just misdemeanor for transporting toxic whatever hazardous material
The wrong way,
improperly.
yeah.
And that still goes on today in terms of people come in here working for licensed companies, but they're getting busted, and in actuality, they should be getting fined by the DCC, not criminal charges.
Absolutely.
But that's still happening, and people are still getting arrested for it.
And are those cases kind of thrown out?
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends what actual documentation the company has.
Okay.
Because there's plenty of companies out, here's my license, and then nothing, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that ain't gonna fly.
Of course.
You don't have you don't have anything else.
Burner distros.
Yeah.
And there's unfortunately drivers and people who work for those companies who think, oh yeah, we have a license, and then when they come in and they're looking at misdemeanors, 4 or 5 of them, and I'm going, yeah, no.
Yeah, where's your badge? Where's the manifest? Where's metric? Where's the order? I mean, to do it properly, DCC can call you at any time and say, I want the last week of deliveries.
For sure.
And you got to print out the metric and all the bullshit and send it to them. So, you got to have access to all that stuff.
Yeah.
And if they have all that stuff and they just didn't have it on them, good. Well, gave us some work. If you had it all on him, you might not have had the case.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you didn't, so we bring it in, and usually we get those dismissed.
Okay.
If they don't have all that stuff, then it looks like it's trapping.
Yeah.
And it is what it is, and we fight it another way. And if they shut the fuck up, we can fight it on the consent, on the search. We can fight all that stuff and potentially get it dismissed.
Gotcha.
Oh, that makes me think of another case. One of our first, when we were setting people up in California back in before everything changed, before Prop 64 came, you had to be set up as a cooperative corporation.
Okay.
And with that, you have to have patient members. And so you could have X amount of product for every member. So the more members you had, the more product you could have, and all this and that.
Okay.
It was still felonies.
Yeah.
And if you got busted, it was a defense on a silver platter. It's like we could tell you how to commit felonies here in California under these cannabis rules in the Attorney General guidelines. And if you do what we say from A to Z and you catch a case, we're going to likely be able to get it dismissed.
Okay.
And so one of our first clients, West Coast native growers, they, nice couple, Morgan and Mai, and they had an operation going like a lot of people did, and they didn't know how to do it right. And they wanted to do it right.
Yeah.
So we set them up. We did everything. They had their grow. Probably a year later, and at those times, back in those days, you could retain us for a year. Really, really, really cost affordable. We would set you up, and then you'd be covered for up to like 4 or 5 felonies if something happened.
Okay.
Because we're going to put our money where our mouth is.
Yeah.
If you do what we say. If you take out a step, if you don't, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And so about a year later, they got raided. And, whoever's at the raid is the one getting taken away.
For sure.
And so the one guy goes in, he's looking at all these felonies. And on the arraignment day, we went up there with everything. And I went in, showed everything to the DA, who had no clue. We had to.
Most of them had no idea about the cannabis space and cooperative corporations
Okay.
and Attorney General guidelines. They had no idea.
Okay.
And so I had to school them that this is the defense we're going to mount, because we're not going to take a deal, because my clients were doing it properly under the law.
Yeah.
And they didn't file.
They rejected it.
Okay,
And that was
interesting.
that was up in Riverside, and we did a nice big video in front of the courthouse, smoking a big joint with probably seven or 8 of them.
There you go.
Who worked for the company that were there. So that that's another good memory and a good case.
For sure. Now, when you guys walk into the courtroom, is the defense like, oh, fuck?
Well, I'm the one going to court on these criminal cases, and it's not really fuck. It's, oh my God,
It's that guy.
I love your videos, and it has helped get some
with
good
district
deals.
attorneys, yeah.
It's helped get some good deals,
For sure.
and it's when we were first doing it back in 2015. 2016, and I walk in, this nug, I wear it every day.
Okay.
For the last 10 years, pretty much, and I got my suit on and I got my nug on. And back then, I had bailiff, when you walk through the court, through the metal detector, what is that? I go, that's not real. Don't worry, it's not real. Now it's like, oh wow, what is that?
Yeah.
Is that what I think it is?
That's
So
right.
yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yep.
I had a judge ask me once, or made a comment to me about her son following us.
Okay.
So I thought that was pretty funny.
That is funny.
Well, here's one of the memorable things for me that happened in court. I went to traffic court for a friend of mine.
Okay.
And when you go to traffic court, you go in there, there's, 50, 100 people sitting there waiting to go.
Yep.
And the bailiff usually gets up and does a little, this is what you're going to do. The judge is going to come out and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And so I walked in and I hand my card. I go, I'm representing this person, give it to the bailiff. And he looks at the card and and he laughed a little bit. And then I sat down and then he starts in and he goes, before I give my little speech, I want to share something with you all. This attorney right here just gave me this card. And I'm going to read it to you. This is exactly what he did. The script, why did you pull me over? I'm not discussing my day. Am I being detained or am I free to go? If detained, I invoke the fifth. I want my lawyer. Then you STFU. And he was like that. And he goes, you all know what that means? Because this guy's a genius. You STFU if guys like me are asking you questions. And then I went into my holster that I always have, and I go, I have the cards if you want them. And everybody lined up, and I was handing the cards out. So you never know what's going to happen when you put it out there.
Because people don't realize, and we get shit all the time, we're not by any means anti-law enforcement.
Yeah.
At all. I mean, it's a tough job. There's bad apples, there's good apples. And we get so much feedback from law enforcement, good feedback.
Yeah.
Thank you.
From the good ones.
You're
It makes their job easier.
It does.
Yeah.
It keeps escalation down. And we're like, and that's why the whole, what do we say? I mean, it took a while. You believe it or not, it looks pretty simple. But why did you pull me over? Was our response. People going, well, what do you say when they first walk up? Like, because at first you just shut up. You don't talk, right? Well, that's kind of rude.
It's not going to go over
blah,
well.
blah, blah. Like whether, and that's another thing, go over well. It shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother
Of course.
rabbit hole. So we finally came up with what's the most polite way to say, fuck you, it's none of your business. We came up with, ultimately, why did you pull me over?
There you go.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, nice, respectfully. We always say, do this respectfully. And they're going to do what they're going to ultimately do, but you do it respectfully.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of DMs from, we have one guy back, I don't know, Midwest, where he reads it to his...
Yeah, it was in Virginia. A sergeant in Virginia on his night shift for the night crew that goes out, he has them stand up and recite the script. And that's the other thing it does is it lets you know what kind of cop you got.
Yeah.
Because the cops that agree with this and are like, thank you, it makes it easier, those are good cops who respect your 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Yeah.
The other ones, they get mad. They get mad. Well, you can't answer a question? What, you're gonna be rude?
Yeah.
You're gonna be rude? Like we have some of our videos where we're just doing the script review.
Yeah.
And if you've seen that, if you're seeing that for the first time, it might be a little, we're aggressive and this and that. And then we get cops on that feed that are like, this is so rude and disrespectful.
Yeah.
And, and it's like, it's not. And you try to explain, no, this is what it's about.
Yeah.
And then, well, if somebody's going to give me an attitude and not answer my questions, a warning turns into a ticket.
Yeah.
Which is just another whole rabbit hole of discussion regarding, did he do something or not?
Or you just upset.
What does it matter if
Yeah.
you get upset?
Yeah.
Well, it boggles my mind that they're allowed. And I watch Live PD. You ever watch Live PD
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday?
Yep.
I watch that and I see so much shit like that. Well, you're not talking. Well, they get upset and like
Yeah.
this could go.
They
This
try
could
to
go
provoke them.
This is going to go a different way. Then if you don't,
You do it the easy way or the hard way?
Yeah, exactly.
What does
You don't
it
wanna
have to do with it?
cooperate?
Because you get upset means I did violate it, or if I'm nicer, if I open myself up to fucking myself,
Yeah.
then you'll be nice and maybe let me go.
Absolutely.
How about no?
And we say to politely use these words.
Yeah.
And politely, when they say get out of the car, we recommend get out of the car.
Pennsylvania
If you're
v. Nivens.
afraid, you call for a supervisor immediately. You tell them to get a supervisor out there. But if they're going to make you still get out, we say get out.
Yeah.
And they can still not get a supervisor, or like that one, I am the supervisor.
Well, then
get
get
me
your
supervisor.
But I mean, it's cooperation. When we do a lot of videos on what does cooperation mean?
Yeah.
Well, you're saying you're not cooperating, and the cops say you're not cooperating. Did I not give you my insurance, license, registration?
Yeah.
Did I not pull over?
Yeah.
I not crack my window to give you this? So what part of that is not cooperating?
Absolutely.
They try to say when you don't talk to them, you're not cooperating.
Yeah.
Like we say, cooperation, getting out of the car, hands behind your back. Don't run. Don't be an idiot because, and we need to do another tip on that, on running.
Don't
Like,
reach, don't
be-
run,
because
don't run
right
your
now-
mouth.
Yeah, don't run. If you watch these things 99.9% of the time, you're going to get caught.
Yeah.
And a lot of these times I do hear, and whether it's bullshit or not, it's like, you had a little bit of weed. And these are in states where it's still illegal.
Yeah.
Most
People are scared.
whether because they're on live, letting most of the people go with smaller amounts of weed.
Yeah.
They're letting most people go, even
Yeah.
though it's still fucking illegal in these
Yeah.
fucking states.
Yeah.
That's what they film.
Well, that was the thing.
So yeah, go ahead.
Coming from New York, that was their line. If you have anything on you, tell me right now.
It'll make it
give
easier.
It to me. No, give it to me. I'll just take it. You don't tell me and I find it, you're going to jail.
Yeah, until you say yes, you hand it to them and it's, well, that's a little more than we thought.
Yeah.
Put your hands behind your back.
Yep.
Boom. They would have no reason to get into your car. They
Exactly.
did not have consent. They would have never found it.
Yeah. And we were kids, obviously. So
Right.
we were
No,
like,
I
oh,
get
yeah,
it. I get it.
here.
I get it.
That's another good case.
But be that as it may, the running thing, because the punchline to that is, if you stick to what we say and the cops do something wrong or not, you have a defense.
Yeah.
But once you start resisting, once you run, then then you're screwed.
Yeah, then
Then
got
there's
no-
extra
Then
charges.
there's a bunch of
Absolutely.
extra charges that aren't going to go away.
Yeah.
If
And then you just look guilty. Why are you running? You know?
Well, and your civil
Well,
case.
actually, there's been a case recently well, that was that judge who found that walking away from a cop, this was on the street, not on a pullover.
Yeah.
That's
that
different.
walking away wasn't evading. But that was one judge we heard of. But
Interesting.
but people should don't and I think there should be public beating if you speed and run away from the cops. You could kill me, my wife, my kids,
Yeah.
my grandkids, you on these stupid high-speed chases where
Absolutely.
how many do you see get away?
Yeah. You're not
it's
beating a
like,
helicopter.
Just take if you got something illegal, pull over. They probably don't even they don't pull you over for that.
Yeah.
They're pulling you over for a traffic ticket.
Yep.
So if you stick to this script, shameless plug, this goes on where your oil change goes. That way you don't get weird. You don't have to reach for the card. You don't have to get nervous. You don't worry about getting nervous because you got this right here
You just point
on
to
the
it.
windshield, and
Yeah.
you can read it right there.
You're-
And you stick to that, and then they want to search your car. No, and if they want to, ultimately, they're going to without your consent, and then we can get the case, and we can say you pulled them over for a traffic violation. How the hell did you get in their car?
Yeah.
What was the PC?
Well, you know what? That's actually exactly what happened to me when I got my UPM. I was telling you guys earlier. I was a ski and snowboard instructor at the time, so I was upstate New York, and all they really have up there is state troopers or local PD. So I had a out tail light, and since I wasn't home, I don't have any tools on me, yada yada yada. And obviously, I always had weed just because I was a weed guy. But this particular time, I was going to pick up weed, but since my boss who lived up there, he had the weed for me and he had the tools for me, so I went to Walmart, picked up the taillight. On my way to his house
to fix it.
I get pulled over, and I knew this was happening because I passed the cop. He was going this way, I was going this way. I instantly saw his brake lights, and he whipped the U-turn. I was like, I know why I'm getting pulled over. It's my taillight's out.
Well, see that right there.
Yeah.
Stop me.
Yeah.
I'll stop you.
Yeah.
This would be great. I mean, great defense because he pulled you over for a taillight, but he was coming the opposite direction.
Yes.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Well, why did he flip a Yui?
Yeah. I was the only one on the road.
No, but why did he flip a Yui?
Exactly,
Did he
exactly.
how did he see your
Taillight.
taillight coming the other way?
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
Yep. So I was young. I was like 18
Profile.
at the time. And so I knew right away, and I knew I didn't have anything because I was going to pick up weed. So I was like, all right, I'm in the clear, you know. But obviously I had like a bowl, grinder, and shit like that. So when he came up to the door, he's asking whatever. And then he asked for license and registration. I give it to him. And then he starts asking like weird questions. He's like, oh, have you been drinking tonight? Blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, no, sir. You know, I work up here. I'm just heading to my boss's house to actually fix the taillight while you pulled me over. He's like, okay, yeah, just sit tight. And I don't know if you guys have them out here, but in New York, we had something called a PBA card, where if you were related or you knew an officer, they give you this card that says I'm related or a family member. And usually they give you a break because they want the same respect with their family. But in these situations, I never pulled out the card because I didn't want them to call them and be like, "Hey, I got your nephew here. He has weed." And I'm like,
It's
"Oh,
not
fuck
just
that."
it's not just a pullover.
Yeah. So I never showed it to them in that situation. So when he came back, he started asking. He's like, "All right, well, you haven't been drinking." He's like, "But I'm smelling something." And now at this point, I'm like, "Holy shit! I'm not trying to get a DUI." So I'm like, "I can assure you, what you're smelling is not alcohol, sir." You know, like. So then he saw the PBA card and he's like, "Oh, who's that? Like, what's going on?" And I was like, "Oh, it's my uncle, blah, blah." So then that's when he asked me to get out of the car. I got out of the car. And in my head, I'm just like, I can show you where it's at. You know, I'm like, it's right in one bag. Like, you could just have the bag. And he's like, "I'm going to search the car." I'm like, "All right, do your thing." So he's searching the whole car. I know nothing's there, but I forgot that I kept a bowl, like, in one of the compartments, and I found the bowl.
We go through that tip we just did
Yeah.
we just did a new one
But
yesterday.
you didn't consent.
I did not consent.
He didn't. At least he didn't consent.
Yeah.
But they had the PC from the.
He
smell.
had me out of the car already, yeah, so I was like, what am I going to do? He's a state trooper. I was shitting bricks. I was 18 years old. And I didn't want my mom to find out. So I was like, damn. So I went through all that. First of all, I was relieved because I didn't go to jail. Once he's like, I got to give you a ticket.
Sight
I'm
release.
like, that's it? He's like, yeah. I was like, great. Like, let me get a ticket.
Let me get the ticket.
So he gave me the ticket. I pulled up to my boss. I told him what happened. I'm like, yo, bro, like, fucking let me change my taillight right now because, like, this shit just happened. But now I got a UPM. I was like, this is my first time, you know, like, I don't know what to do. So I was even skeptical at, like, picking up the weed. Then I was like, should I take the weed?
Next.
And he's like, bro, what's the odds of you getting pulled over again? You know, he's like, nah, your taillight's changed. And so I was like, yeah, fuck it, you're right.
I gotta get me my weed.
So I got the weed, and then that night, I had friends waiting on me because it was supposed to be a quick thing. I was going to pick up the weed, and then I was coming back. We were gonna smoke. So they're all blowing up my phone. Where the fuck is he? Where's Brendan? I'm like, oh shit. So I called them, and I'm like, yo, I almost just went to jail. Like, but thank God I didn't. I was like, but I still got the weed, so I'll be there in a couple minutes. So I pull up, and funny enough, we ended up like driving around the back roads that whole night, just smoking weed. Like, probably this is the exact thing we shouldn't have done. But in my head, I'm like, what are the odds? You know, fuck it.
Worse than you think. I've had plenty of people get pulled over twice in the same day.
I would imagine, and I kind of had that in the back of my head too, because I'm like, he's gonna see me riding around. If it's the same cop, he'll see my car taillights changed again. But now
he's coming back.
I was like, he might pull me over. So, but whatever. Luckily, that didn't happen. So I didn't want my mom to find out still. So I knew I had to go to the trial, which was upstate New York, where I didn't live, 2 hours away. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. What's the worst that can happen? I'm not going to tell my mom. I'm not going to hire an attorney. Nothing.
You're
so
18?
I just went by myself, and the judge was like, okay, you don't have any priors. So all we're going to do, we're going to put you on ACOD for a year. As long as you don't get in trouble, this will go away. She's like, but if you get in trouble, whatever charge you get, this charge will come back up, and now you have 2 charges. So I was like, oh, shit. And in my head, I'm like,
Good job for staying clean.
yeah. I was like, I'm a pretty good kid.
Yeah.
So what are,
Well, that's
you know?
that's the thing that's so fucked up.
Yeah.
You're smoking weed.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yep.
When can we get it out of society's head that it's anything other than something natural from the ground, not
100%.
man-made crap like crack and coke
Exactly.
and heroin and
Alcohol.
Yeah.
alcohol?
But here's the kicker.
Jesus.
So I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm a good kid. I usually stay out of trouble. The next day, I'm home, and we're taking an L ride, you know? We're in our friend's car. We're all smoking. Such an odd thing, too. It was just like God was trying to, like, teach me something. I don't know. But so the next day, we're driving. My friend's driving like an asshole, like dancing the car, you know, hitting the brakes. And I peep over to the right, and I see an undercover. And I'm like, yo, bro, stop being a dick. Like, so they're turning right, though, and we're turning left. So I'm like, okay, we're probably fine, you know? And sure as shit, we get like halfway down the block, and here comes the undercover pulling us over. So I'm like, oh, fuck. And I'm sitting behind the driver at this point. But I'm just going to assume that he saw me, like, moving. So he came right to the back door and was like, give me your ID. And I was like, I'm not even driving. Like, what the fuck? And then this is also me, like, knowing in my head, like, oh, fuck. I'm about to go to jail for sure. So now I'm, like, really shitting bricks. And he pulls me out of the car, pulls us all out of the car, searches the car. And at this time, I was kind of new to smoking, so we didn't really have a whole bunch. But whatever we did have was all in one bag. So it was like we shared a grinder, we shared the bag of weed, you know, and the papers or whatever. So the cop pulls it out, looks directly at me, and he's like, is this your bag? And I'm like, well, you know, it's his grinder. And I was like, yeah, it's my bag. He goes, you ever been arrested before? I said, no, sir. He goes, put your hands behind your back. I was like, oh, first time for everything. And then put my hands behind my back. He put me in the car, and now he's like searching everyone else and shit. And now he finds one of my friend's fake IDs. And he's like, you got one of those too? And I'm not about to lie to a cop in cuffs, and he has my wallet in his
Never
hand.
lie.
That's your wallet.
Well,
So
that's the one reason this script exists.
Yeah.
Because you never lie.
Exactly.
Say I'm not discussing my day.
Yep. So now he's couldn't even find the fucking thing, so I should have just said no. But I had to show him where it was. He took it. He's like, you know this is a felony? And I'm like, I did. But I'm like, oh, no, that's crazy. And then he saw the PBA card, too. And he's like, whose fucking PBA card is this? You should have showed this to me. And I'm like, sorry, I don't want you to call who's on that card. Like, please don't call them. And sure as shit, they end up calling him anyway. And they let me out of the cuffs. And by the grace of God, nothing happened. And I didn't have to tell my mom anything. She knows now, of course.
Right.
No, I got a really good one from way back.
Okay, let's hear it. Yeah.
I was 8, must have been 18 or 19, maybe in 18 to 20 range. And a buddy and I went to the movies, and it was at night, and we pull up, and there was like no one in the parking lot, barely, and we go under a big light post, sit there, and fucking taking hits out of a little pipe,
There you go.
little hash.
Okay.
Back then, it was nothing like we know today.
Oh, for sure.
And so we just got done smoking this hash, and we had a little tiny bit, and fuck, cop pulls up, and at that point I knew hash was a felony,
Okay.
like way worse than weed was. Even
Interesting.
though weed wasn't good,
Yeah.
hash was worse.
Why was that?
Because it was like it was kind of like what they thought of concentrates in our
Gotcha.
day and age.
Okay.
They thought initially it was like, oh my God, it's like heroin.
Yeah.
What is that? And so he gets us out of the car. Back then, I literally carried a little leather man bag.
Okay.
And I had in there this pipe. I had in there a scale, one of those old ones that you hung.
Okay.
You see those on the old people pages, like how we survived the 70s. And I had a little baggie that had barely remnants in it. And the cop pulls it all out and goes, scale? I go, yeah, I don't like to get ripped off. I actually said that. And then he looks at the pipe. Sure as shit, he said, you don't smoke hash out of this, do you? I said, no, sir, that's a felony. We just stick to weed.
Yeah.
And he ended up just letting us go.
Wow.
But it was like the weird, and of course, we're in the middle of a parking lot under a light post.
I was gonna say
nobody around.
That might not have been the best area. But
No. I'm like you. Like we all
Fuck
do
it.
stupid shit
Yep.
that you learn from.
Exactly. That's the only way I do learn, unfortunately. So
Well, everybody
You got to
does.
go through it.
I mean, everybody does, because you got to remember, when you're a parent and you try to teach your kids anything, for the most part, they have to learn on their own.
yeah,
It's like, they don't, why listen to me?
yeah,
You know better
exactly.
until you don't. It's
Yeah.
like, I told you so, but sometimes they listen, but a lot of times if you don't learn on your own, then you don't learn.
Of course.
Hopefully it's not a bad lesson.
Yeah.
It's just enough to go, okay, yeah, that I learned my lesson.
Lucked out
Exactly.
on that one.
So
Those were the lessons that, I was warned about them, but I didn't really sit
Yeah, we
back
don't
and
listen.
be like, shit.
Yeah.
Until then I look at my mom and be like, yeah.
it's like
you're
when I was
right.
driving around smoking weed when I was 16 out here.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Going to places where I should have never have driven to get my weed.
Absolutely. Speaking of that, though, you had mentioned you had a little bag. I know you guys have these bags here. If you want to just talk about them a little bit, what are these?
These are what we consider to be one of the best smell-proof, lockable bags on the market.
Okay.
From Firebar Labs. We hooked up with them because their message was to be fashionable and know your Fourth Amendment.
Okay.
And the lock is TSA approved,
Okay.
which means TSA has the master key that and out of the airport, they can search your bags randomly, whatever. So those are TSA approved locks. Now we don't suggest putting anything that's going to get you in trouble and flying with it,
course.
because that's still a felony.
Yeah.
But when you're driving around, especially like in California and other states that are quote unquote legal, because it's not really legal.
Yeah.
It's all limits, and you could still get busted for it.
Of course.
And keeping it in a bag like that in your trunk gives you extra protection under that fourth, because they arguably may need a warrant to get into that.
Okay.
That's why we recommend anything you have, you don't want to be seen, whether it's a firearm, whether it's cannabis, whether it's paper.
You're not talking into the mic anymore. Okay,
Forgot.
say that all over. Rewind.
All right, rewind. Sorry about that, guys.
No worries.
Whatever you don't
Haven't you
want
done this before?
whatever you don't want someone to have access to. Whatever the substance is or whatever it is.
Product.
Whatever it is, it could be papers, it could be documents.
Yeah.
That this gives you an extra layer of protection because arguably they need a warrant to get into this locked bag.
Yeah.
Now, they can still try to rip it open, and as long as you don't give consent, we can fight later that their probable cause that they use on scene was bullshit.
Yeah.
But it gives us that extra layer of protection. It's also smell-proof, and
Very affordable, and every bag.
actually, and that was, and we've been hit up to do a lot of products with people, and we never wanted to sell out.
Okay.
We just, as much as I want to make money off stuff and license our brand, it's been very difficult. These guys truly were a young company. And when we first met them, their whole booth is about Fourth Amendment rights. So when we met with them, we were figuring out a way to partner with them. And so we ended up figuring, instead of doing our own line, which we tried that once, we had lock boxes that were smell-proof and lockable, but they had like the script, they had a weed label on it. Not a good idea.
Okay.
And these guys already have everything done, so we just put
the script.
The script is on every single bag that they sell. They sell these. They sell
Smaller ones, bigger
messengers.
ones.
They sell backpacks, duffel bags, the whole 9 yards. And we're helping them kind of get off the ground by, endorsing it. And we have never endorsed any product.
Okay.
Except my boys.
Of course.
West Coast Cure.
Of course. Shout out to them. But this is a hell of a thing because not only are they getting a great product, but if they don't even know about it, now they're educated on the script.
Yeah.
Right. And they can take off all the other tags. And I guess, these things here go on tennis shoes. I guess people like those.
Yes.
Or some kind of fashion.
I have seen them.
Some kind of fashion thing. So you can either take them off or not. Other tags. But this one here can stay on or be put into the bag so you actually have a copy of the script. Or you go to our Shopify and you can get these things.
Okay.
And we were actually asked by followers for something like this.
Okay.
We didn't just make it up and go, let's try to sell something. Because it was always tough on me to try to, I don't want to peddle. We didn't do this to start peddling.
Of course.
Right? But it's turned into, we can do good by, hey, we have these, they're not expensive. And we sell a shitload of these.
I'm sure.
And
people were calling us embarrassed. I've been following you guys. I got pulled over and I got nervous.
Yeah.
And I forgot. And if we had something in the car, and then let's make stickers.
Boom.
And you stick them right there, like you said, on the oil change reminder area, and then it's right there. Some people even put it right in the middle of their steering wheel.
Yeah.
We've had people do that, or right on their visor. So it's
I
just all right
actually can't say exactly what was in it, but I did recently, last time I flew, I used that going through the airport.
Okay.
100% worked.
Great. Good to know. Let's speak about that a little bit. Just touch on that because I know a lot of people might be confused going from legal state to legal state.
Legal, illegal.
illegal.
Okay.
There's nothing
Legal
confusing.
state to legal state, legal city to legal city. It's illegal once you get onto the airport grounds.
Okay.
Period. And people don't get it twisted. Out of LAX specifically, they had a policy of if it's under an ounce, we don't care.
Okay.
But when you get to the other side, and we've had plenty of cases, when they pull into Houston, we had one guy had a fucking
that was
Atlanta.
Jerry
Atlanta.
K.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
You're gonna get busted on the other side.
Yeah.
Very likely. Just because LAX doesn't care, doesn't mean the other side doesn't care.
Of course.
So it's illegal to fly with it. Period. How people do it or whatnot, or everybody gets away with it. Yeah. Just like everything else, everybody gets away with a lot of shit until you don't.
Yeah.
And then we see all the people, which is substantial. It's still a drop in the bucket of how many do break the law.
Of course.
But we see all the ones that end up getting caught.
Yeah.
And, we tell people do what you want to do, but it's illegal, period.
Okay.
And you got to be careful. That's, Jerry K.
Yeah.
So, and we can talk about this because he talked about with us on our social media when it happened years ago. He was flying to Atlanta for the Super Bowl.
Wow.
And he had a huge, 2-ounce joint or something like that.
Okay.
That, he rolls those really huge ones. And he had it air sealed and this and that and the whole 9 yards and tucked away somewhere. And he leaves LAX and he lands. And when he lands, they're waiting for him when he gets off the plane.
Yeah.
You have his luggage. They opened it up. Dog hit the luggage. But the dog hit was a pair of his jeans that had one of the little glass tips from a joint that he had smoked, and he forgot it was in there.
I used to put mine in there. No more.
He didn't even smell the big joint.
Yeah.
But that's how it happened.
Absolutely.
And he got popped. Fortunately, we were able to get him a good attorney out that way, and came out pretty unscathed with the whole thing. But the point being is the way that happened, leaving LAX with it, landing over here, not even the dog hitting on that, but just some little thing that was just like a piece of glass that had the smell of it on it, and that's how it happened. So you gotta really be careful and know that it's a felony to export out of any airport.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's
But
good
it
to know.
does help if whatever you're carrying, if you put it in that smell proof.
Okay. So yeah, take precautions. But man, I will say, I wish I did have this when I was a teenager, because I wouldn't have gone through what I did probably.
Well, most likely not, because each scenario, from what you said, they had no PC. Well, the second guy, if he smelled weed, that's in New York.
And that long ago?
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
It was super illegal at the time still.
It was still. We were lucky with my son because there was actually, while he said there was, you can't pull me, smells no longer probable cause, there was an actual split of opinion.
Yeah.
Because it was like, how can legal conduct be probable cause?
Yeah.
This case said that it can't. If you have your medical card and this and that, then it's legal. How can that be probable cause?
Yeah.
And that was our biggest thing. And the lady was an idiot on my son's second case, because she should have just said,
I smelled it.
I smelled it. And that would have made our jobs 10 times harder.
Yeah.
Because then we'd have to be arguing case law. This one says yes, this one says no, and we got a judge. What is he going to do?
Yeah.
Right? Who does he go with case?
Yeah.
Because it's not a definitive case on it yet. So.
Crazy. Well, shit, I definitely learned a lot today. I'm sure the people watching this are going to learn quite a bit as well. Where is any social medias you guys want to shout out? Do you have a website?
We have a website, popbrothersatlaw.com.
Okay.
Our hats and stickers and some shirts are at the STFUguys.com.
Okay.
And then Instagram is pot_brothers_at_law, as is actually that one. And then we're on TikTok, just Pot Brothers at Law.
Okay.
BU, because it became a backup. We got taken down with 1 million followers on TikTok.
Wow.
On TikTok.
Yeah.
For violence extremism.
Interesting.
And then now we built it back up like 300,000 or something like that. And then we're on YouTube and Facebook, Pot Brothers at Law.
Okay.
You just you Google "shut the fuck up attorneys," you will find us.
Absolutely.
And 855 WAS Law is our little hotline, because of our social media following and presence. We've over 10 years, we've created a pretty large attorney referral network.
Okay.
So we can potentially help other people find good, honest attorneys that I've vetted out with Zoom and talked to in other states, sometimes even in other countries. It's not a guarantee, but you never know. We might know somebody. And for all areas of law,
Absolutely.
whether you get injured or you need a will or divorce, whatever it is, we might have an attorney that we can refer you to that you can actually trust.
Okay.
Because that's hard to find out.
That's for damn sure.
And also, just one more thing.
For sure.
These bags here, they're at just how it sounds, firebarlabs.com.
Okay.
Just exactly how it sounds.
Awesome.
So if they're interested, go take a look. And we really appreciate you having us on,
thank you.
helping us
Of
spread
course.
the word.
And thanks for coming to our place.
Absolutely. Not a problem.
Makes it
We
easy on
appreciate
us.
all the knowledge, because this might be one of the most useful and knowledgeable episodes that people refer to, because
We hope so.
we all need to know this.
Yes.
That's right. And go scroll through our page. There's a lot of good advice.
Yeah.
A lot of it
Yeah.
repeats, but you need it. You need
Absolutely.
the repetition. Otherwise, you're going to forget. And if you're going to forget,
Go get a sticker.
get the sticker.
There you go. Well, if there's one thing you learned today, it's shut the fuck up. Well, thank you guys. We appreciate your energy and
Thank
your
you.
time. And
you want us? We'll do the script. Let's do the script real quick.
let's
before
do
we
it.
end.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right. Now, and this is all polite. This is you've handed over license, insurance, and registration.
Yep.
And the cop comes up. All right, where are you going today so fast?
Why'd you pull me over?
Because you're speeding. Why are you speeding? Where are you going?
I'm not discussing my day.
Do you have drugs in your car? What's that smell?
Am I being detained or am I free to go?
You're being detained. Get out of the car.
I invoke the fifth. I want my lawyer.
I don't care. You're not getting your lawyer here at the traffic stop. Just tell me, you have a little bit of drugs in the car, you have a little pot, it's okay, I'm going to let you go. Just tell me what I want to know. You have drugs? What are you doing?
Shutting the fuck up.
That's it.
There you go. Beautiful. I love it. So shut the fuck up. If you get pulled over, know what to do. But hey, that's it. It's been another episode of the Green Rush Nation podcast. Go tell your mother, your brother, your sister, your mistress, anyone you think that needs to know. But that's it. We'll see you next time.
I just had the bluest dream that you've ever seen, and I can't believe that shit was green, cause it hit so clean, and my history is a mystery. I don't give a fuck, I just hit the tree on the 5th degree. We don't pit for free. If you don't got 5 shit, get up and leave.